Hi guys, welcome back. Today we're just going to do a quick marinated chicken wings. I don't know if you remember the green ants, hang on, I've got to read it, green ant lemon marmalade that we got from the Quorn Kurti festival. I'll be using this today, and as well as the verjuice we got from the same place. That was from the Australian Native Food Co. So we're going to try, this is our first dish we've tried out using some of their products. And basically I just went to the local shop and bought some chicken wings, and yeah, concentrating mainly on the green ant marmalade. So we don't want to lose that flavour, but into it, this is just a marinade that we're going to let sit for a little bit before we cook them. I'm just putting a bit of garlic and ginger and a tiny touch of soy sauce in there, let them marinate for a little bit, and when we go to cook them, I'll baste them with a bit more of this marmalade. So we'll see how it goes. I'm just winging it at the moment, and if it's a good recipe, I'll share the recipe. Okay, so I'm just going to chop up some garlic first. Obviously those at home probably may have a garlic crusher. I didn't pack one of those because I figure I can just chop it up. This garlic is actually come all the way from Queensland. It's actually the St George garlic. Do you know, is it Moon? No, it's not called Moon Rocks anymore.
No.
I don't know who they're called now anyway.
It's owned by the Moon family.
They're they used to sell a lot of rock melons, but they've changed out in the last few years and they now do specialise in garlic and onion. So we picked this up when we were in St George. Now there's certain things you can't take over the border as such, and when we did get checked at the South Australian checkpoint, the main thing they were interested in was citrus fruit. They weren't worried about the potatoes and the onions and the garlic we had on. It was just, yeah, any citrus. So they did take a couple of lemons off me. Well, I knew they would, but we were waiting for an actual bin to be able to dump them, but the bin was literally at the checkpoint, so we just handed them over and he was happy. Right, so I did 3 cloves of garlic, only because you can never have too much garlic. I'm just hoping it doesn't take away too much of this ant flavour, green ant marmalade flavour, but I don't think it will. Into that, I'm just using powdered ginger, and only a little bit. I'm not a big ginger fan, but I feel like ginger sometimes brings out flavour. I like it in certain things, but just not a lot. You can use fresh grated ginger into there, it's just that I didn't have any. Now this verjuice, it actually smells like pickle juice, really, but it actually tastes really, really good. Using about 3 tablespoons, or maybe 2. And then just a hint of soy sauce. I don't want to take away too much flavour, but I don't mind the soy. And 1 spoonful of marmalade just in this one, because I don't want too much sugar content in these chicken wings for the first stage of cooking. It's only after they're nearly cooked and I want to glaze and baste them that I want the sugar so the outside goes nice and crispy and glazed. There is one thing I did forget to grab out, and that was salt and pepper. Trust this like it's going to go get that. He's so good. Thank you. Just a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. This is my only mixing bowl I packed. It's plastic, it's light, and it's my everything bowl. It's my salad bowl, it's my cake making bowl that I whisk everything in by hand. It's multiple. It's the only bowl I packed. So okay, chicken wings. These are just the V wings, so they're actually missing the tip, which is okay by me because I don't actually eat the tip. I usually just cut them off and give them when I had a dog to the dog. So I've just bought the V wing, but all I'm doing is cutting them into 2. You'll cut them straight. There'll be a knuckle, but you just cut straight through them. Sometimes you might not always get the knuckle, but if you want to, you can make a cut and then bend it till you hear it crack. And then it'll actually appear where you'll know where you'll be able to cut it straight in half. So we're just cutting all of them. Check for feathers while you're doing it. It doesn't matter what brand of chicken, you know, whether they're cheap on special or whether they're free range chicken like the stuff I've got now. They occasionally still have the odd feather on them that I just pull out. Oops, didn't like that one. Right, so all I'm going to do with these is just toss them through that. I do have chicken on me. I do have a Ziploc bag, which I probably should have put them in there first, but when they're marinating in the fridge, like we haven't packed a lot of containers. Obviously, first episode we said due to weight issues and things like that. But I do use a few Ziploc bags, not an excessive amount. Like occasionally I'll wash them and reuse them and things like that. But they just, yeah, they're lighter and take up a little less space. You can get some eco-friendly ones too, I think.
And they seal really well, so they don't leak too bad in the fridge or anything like that. That's
right. So, and they just less space. They fall down between, you know, things. They don't have to sit in a bulky, like this big bowl trying to sit in the fridge. And seals all the flavour in as well. Right. So what I'm going to do is put these in the fridge. I like to let them marinate for at least half an hour. Longer if you've got the time. Sometimes before I go to work in the morning, that's when I do the marinating, and then I come home that afternoon and cook them up. And if you are home though, by all means, give them a bit of a stir or give them a bit of a mix up as you go. And yeah, like when you're walking past the fridge, just give them a bit of a rub and a roll around and toss it so that the marinade goes through all of the meat. And we'll let them sit for a while and come back and do the cooking. That's fine. So my chicken wings have been marinating all day. They've been in the fridge for about 6 hours. I've turned them, you know, about 3 times or something in that time. All I'm doing with these is actually barbecuing them to start with, just to actually put a little bit of a colour and whatever on the skin, and then once they're sort of nicely coloured, I'll start glazing them. Now what I do, we've just got our little outdoor barbecue which we showed you in our intro video. Always preheat it, treat it like an oven. So I actually turned this on about 5 minutes ago. It's roughly up to about 160, actually I lie, about 180 degrees, so that's actually pretty good. So I'll whack these on, and then I'm just going to make a coleslaw to go with it. Oh, I am actually cooking these on the, you know, those Teflon barbecue mats. I just find they're better for anything you marinate because they're easier to clean and it doesn't really stick and burn and make a mess of the barbecue. We've worked out over time, my left hand side of the grill is the hottest, so that's the one I like to use. What I have done too, just to go with these, is I've actually got a sweet potato that normally I'd pierce and just wrap in foil, but I've actually just cut it in half and put it in the microwave for about 4 minutes just to start it cooking. I'm just going to sit them on this side of the grill, and that'll be my accompaniment. It'll be chicken wings with baked sweet potato and coleslaw. I'll just go grab it. So sweet potato, I've just left the skin on. And I'm just going to pop it on the cold side so it can just slowly cook over that side. Lid down, and I'll just let them brown up, and I'll come out and turn them in a second. Okay, so basically for the coleslaw, it'll be just a pretty simple coleslaw, a little bit like a Texan type slaw. So all I've got is just a little bit of Savoy cabbage, a red onion, a carrot, and a little bit of apple. And yes, for my uncles out there that don't like fruit in their salad, I'm using apple. Okay, just going to thinly slice this up. make my own dressing for the coleslaw, so I don't just go out to the shop and buy a coleslaw dressing. You can, of course, it doesn't matter. You do what your favourite dressing is, put it on the top. But I'm just making a little bit because obviously there is only 2 of us. I do tend to over cater. I'm so used to cooking for so many, and now I'm only cooking for 2, so occasionally I just go, oh, we must be hungry today. So at the moment we're actually down in Jamestown, South Australia. We've actually been working through here for the last, how long have we worked? 6 weeks. And yeah, we're almost coming to the end of the season, but we still like to get out and do a little bit of cooking. Well, we cook every night obviously, but we don't always videotape. I've just got the day off. So we thought, oh well, we'll go show you what we're cooking. A little bit of onion. Oh no, I don't like that. I'm only going to use a little bit of carrot. By all means, you can peel the carrot. If they're dirty, I peel them. If they're clean, I don't worry about it too much. A little bit of carrot for colour. Oh, I made myself a scrap thing. And just a little bit of apple. Apples, again, you don't have to. And if you like to get a capsicum in your coleslaw, put that in there, put whatever you like in.
You can throw nuts in there.
Yeah, nuts are actually quite good, a few walnuts or something like that. Right, so that's basically the coleslaw done. Something nice and quick and simple, which is especially good when you're working. You don't feel like doing too much when you come home. For the salad dressing, I use just a little bit of mayo. I'm just guesstimating the quantity, just because there's only the 2 of us and I've only made a little bit. A little bit of sour cream.
Probably equal parts sour cream to mayonnaise, or to taste.
Yeah, I forgot to grab the cumin. Trusty offsiders off to get the cumin that I forgot. A little bit of salt and pepper. What do you do without your offsiders? You know, they're great. Nice squeeze of lime juice. Lime juice I just do to taste as well. I like it quite zesty. So does Robert actually. So I usually just start with, say, half or quarter of a lime and then taste it. Right, roughly half a teaspoon.
Once again, if you want it a bit stronger, you can add more.
Yeah, it's all personal preference really. Right. That's actually pretty good. I will just add a bit more lime juice. Right. Pour this over the coleslaw. Give it a mix. You want it nice and coated, and obviously the cabbage will go softer the longer it sits. So actually that's a good perfect amount of dressing. Easy as that. That's the side done. Right, we'll go back out and check our chicken wings, and then we'll make the glaze then for the chicken wings. Right, so just back out with the chicken wings. We want them nicely coloured. Well, some of them might be nicely coloured than others, but that's okay. They actually look pretty good. Give them a turn, rotate them around a bit because obviously the hottest bit's in the centre. Right, so just for the glaze that we're going to brush over the chicken wings, we're using the green ant and lemon marmalade, and just the tiniest bit of the verjuice that we use to marinate it in, just to make it a little bit runnier so it will brush on quite nicely. So again, for the amount of chicken wings, I'm guesstimating maybe 1/3 of a cup. Yeah, roughly 1/4 cup, 1/3 of a cup. And just the tiny, it's actually quite, it's not actually that thick and stiff, but I will just add a little bit. Maybe about, I don't know, 1/2 tablespoon. Give it a good stir. Now, I mean, you can, you know, you could have strained this if you wanted to, just because there's a lot of like lemon, say zest, like peel in there, but then you'd lose the little bits of ant and stuff as well. So I'm just leaving all that in there, nice and chunky, and yeah, we'll glaze the chicken wings. We'll just let them brown for a little bit longer and then we'll start glazing them. Oh, I do have a story, so who wants to hear a story? Oh, I like stories. So when I'm doing the barbecuing out there, I want to treat this last bit when the glaze goes on like an oven.
Cut.
No, this is a good story. So Robert's grandmother, bless her soul, she's wonderful, gave me this tiny little, like a really cute little cake rack, cooling rack that fit perfectly in the oven, and I was like, that's great, because it was a good storage space. It wasn't bulky, it wasn't big, anything like that. Well, one day when I was at work at Mission Beach, the husband decided he was making a roast and he wanted a little trivet for his, you know, for the barbecue to lift it up sort of thing. So hence, my cake cooling rack ended up looking like this. So he actually cut it to pieces, he bent it. I got home and I nearly cried, you know, because it was like, it was the perfect cake rack. What have you done? Needless to say, he did keep the edges and stuff. They became little skewers that we use when we make stuffed squid and stuff. But anyway, so then, you know, next visit to St. George, and I go to Robert's Nan and I'm like, Nan, you wouldn't believe what he just did to my cake rack. So I told her the story, and the next day when I went to visit, she fished me out another one. So this one was a do not touch Robert, and she gave him a little bit of a bop and punch on the arm. And yeah, so I got my cake rack back, but this one was destroyed. Although it does work really good as a trivet. That's my story. Righto, so I'm taking my trusty trivet and my glaze, and we're going to go outside and glaze the chicken wings. Alright. What I'm going to do, I'm not sure what I'm doing. Yes, I am. I'm always sure what I'm doing. I'm just never quite sure what's coming out my mouth. Alright, I'm just going to pile these up so I can get that trivet on. All I'm doing is wanting to lift this off the, see that working? So just lift it off the heat a little bit, so it's an indirect heat rather than a direct heat. Can you hold that? Thanks. Right, and I'll line these back up as best I can. On the cooler side of the rack, it's not going to really matter if they're on the ground a little bit, but on this hot section here, I really do not want them on the heat. That one up. That one there. That's not there, right there. Right, so most of them are off the heat there. Give them a nice whack of a glaze. And then I'll treat this like an oven then. They can bake in here for about 10 minutes. I'll turn them and glaze them on the other side and give them another 10 minutes, and they'll actually be ready to eat. They look pretty good. Using up half the glaze. And closing this lid, it'll get the temperature back up to where I want it to be, about that 180 to 200. Having it open, obviously, for the time that I did, it's cooled it back down, but it won't take long to heat back up. Alright, we'll give it 10 minutes and we'll turn them over. Okay, so it's been 10 minutes. I'm just gonna, oh, they smell pretty good. Put that one up in here. Right, just give these one last glaze. Oh, that was hot. Oh, I might as well use the last of it. Right, I'll turn the sweet potato. You'll see, oh well, you can't see probably very well on the bottom, but that Teflon mat is getting a little bit blackish on the bottom, but nothing's touching it, it's just from the marinade. And we'll put that lid down, give it another 10 minutes, and you know, the sun is shining really bright, but it is dinner time, and while that's cooking and waiting, what else do you do but have a cold drink while you're going? Ah, it's been 10 minutes again, and actually they look really good. So I'm just going to take them out. A little bit of lemon. Oh, that one. Oh, that one's mine. Right, the sweet potato. And obviously the wrap will come out, and obviously you'll see that that's the silicone. It has got a bit of, but good to use the silicone mat because otherwise I'd have to try and scratch that off. That will just wipe off. I'll clean that later. I'll go plate this up. Okay, chicken wings. Oh, just because I'm trying to be a little bit fancy. Yeah, coleslaw. Oh, being fancy on my nice plastic plates. Right, and there we have some green ant and lemon marmalade glazed chicken wings with a bit of coleslaw and sweet potato. So again, the Australian Native Food Company, check them out, they've got some good stuff. They've got a fantastic website, Facebook page, everything, and using the verjuice as well. Excellent. There you go. I'm going to eat this one because it's nice and crunchy. Yep, tastes pretty good. I'll share the recipe.